Hi there, I am the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. I just want to take a few minutes and give you an introductory video of why I'm doing all of this. I know there are a lot of these on the internet, and a lot of people have different reasons for, clearing property or buying and clearing property and building a house. I mean, they're doing it every day. So what makes the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman any different? Well, I am a father of 5 little children, all under 10 years old. I'm married to a lovely woman, and we have purchased a house a few years ago, and we finished paying off the house a couple years ago. And with everything that's been going on here, especially since 2020 and the election, everything that's changed in our nation as far as kind of the chaos and the craziness, my wife and I decided to do something a little different in the sense of how we were going to invest and what we were going to do with any excess money that we might have. And one of the problems is living inside or in the suburbs of a city is you don't have a lot of property. We had about 1/4 of an acre, and as you can imagine, with 5 little kids, there's not a lot of room for the kids to play and roam. And I grew up on the farm back in Canada. That's the accent you're picking up. And just was so used to being able to roam the woods and build forts and tree houses and things like that. And I wanted my kids to have that same type of upbringing where they had a little bit more room to wander around. And so my wife and I in the past year began doing some searching and looking around for property in eastern Tennessee. And what we found is that especially at the beginning of about 2020 during the early summer, is that the properties were moving very quickly, and there was fewer and fewer pieces or parcels of land, especially near the city, that were wooded, that were actually available, at least something that was within our price range. And so after about a 2-3 month ordeal of driving, all of our free time, driving to different properties and looking around and putting offers in on some and then backing out based upon maybe some of the issues with septic and whatnot, we finally settled on this property. And it's a really quiet piece of property. There's wildlife on it, the neighbors are great, and so we settled on this. It's a little over 2 acres, and it was pretty much all wooded except for this flat area where I am right here, where we're going to put the house. And I figured we would clear out a lot of the woods anyway, in and around the house, and leave portions of the property wooded for the kids to play on. But in the process of doing the clearing, and one of my earliest videos that I actually recorded back in the end of July, literally within days of buying the property, when we started clearing it and cleaning up the debris, my kids, and I came out here and we were working all of our free time. What I begin to realize is that, what I'm doing is probably something that a lot of other people are thinking about doing, or possibly, considering. And maybe it would be interesting, like some of the other YouTube sites, to kind of document this whole process. Because, like I said, we're a single income family, and we don't have a lot of disposable cash, and so we're trying to do everything as cheaply as possible, yet do everything to code, and try to make a home for our kids. And so that was the thinking of what we were doing here. And I thought, well, I'm sure there's a lot of other people who think, well, we're a single income family, we'll never be able to have that dream. And I think that if you were to put your mind to it, if you have the least bit of abilities to do anything with working with your hands and whatnot, I'm sure you can do that. Now, for me, in full disclosure, I used to be a carpenter. I'm a licensed carpenter, and so I have the ability to work with wood and to do that type of thing, and so that does put me in a little different boat, I'm sure, than some. But at the same time, there's a lot of how-to YouTube videos and whatnot of how to build and construct, and I plan as much as possible of bringing my viewers along with my process, and instructing at the same time. Like I said, there's a lot of great stuff out there on YouTube that you can get information on how to do things. But sometimes it is they'll skip steps, or it seems like they have money to burn, and they're just buying this piece of equipment and that piece of equipment, and I'm just looking at them and I'm like, my goodness, how do you afford several $1,000s here and several $1,000s there? And so what I'm trying to do is, like I said, as much as possible, is to do this as cheaply as possible, yet in a way that is still going to be matching the codes of the area. And so my wife and I, we sit down and we talked about this, and when we bought the property, that was our first step, and our goal is actually to pay as much of that off as possible. We had saved up some money, and so hopefully by next summer we should be able to have most of this paid off, and just kind of progress along over the next couple of years in the construction process. And so hopefully you'll tune in and join the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman as we move forward, because it's going to be a journey. But of course, in that journey, along that journey, I'm going to try to do videos, short videos, some of them 5-10 minutes. I'll try to keep most of them to 15 or 20 minutes, because I know everybody's time is valuable. But the plan is to show you just kind of the little things, things that a lot of people just take for granted. Simply like one of my videos I just posted, I'm going to post today, on how do you fix a wheelbarrow that gets broken? You just go buy a new one? Or is there a way of fixing it? And so this is a situation where I show a short 5-6 minute video of how to fix a broken wheelbarrow, especially if it's plastic and you can't weld it, so to speak. And so I thank you for joining. If you're kind of watching for the first time and just kind of tuning in and trying to figure out what this is all about, what the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman channel is all about, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be me and my kids and my wife just kind of walking through the process of developing this property and making a home for our kids. And I've already noted, and there's some videos that I'm going to be posting about the fact that we want to take a lot of the big pine trees down off the property, because they're quite close to where the house is going to be. And we're going to mill those out, and so we'll go through the process of putting a mill together. We bought a portable sawmill, and so we're going to put that together, set it up, run that, and so you'll see how that works, and the drying process and the planing process, all of those things that go into building a house and developing a property. And at the same time, I hope that you will have the opportunity to glean and learn from, I'm sure I'll make a few mistakes. I'm learning along the way with some of this stuff, but my hope is that if you will stick with me, you will learn some of the kind of the tricks of the trade, but also, how can you take what appears to be useless material that for the most part people would just chop up and burn. How do you make that into valuable lumber for building and whatnot? And so the thinking is, we're right in October, mid-October right now of 2021. My sawmill is due to be here in a couple of weeks, and so that's going to be kind of my first big project. But I've posted a few other videos that you can kind of tune in on, of how the cleaning process of the property, how we cleared it, kind of the undergrowth and the underbrush and whatnot, and how I get rid of that, and even something as simple as building a fire out of wet wood. There's a method, and I'm learning as I go. And so thank you for joining me, and my prayer is that you will stick with me, and hopefully over the next couple of years we'll learn together, and you will get a chance to probably even see my kids growing and getting bigger. And I tell them, I said, I'm going to have you working with me and building with me, because my father's passed away, and my uncle, who was just like a second father to me. And so I realize, I've got to pass on what I know to my kids, and so I want to do that. And one of those ways is actually getting them out here into nature and showing them how to use your hands, and how to build, how to work hard, how to clear land, and just do what needs to get done to make a home for your family. And so thanks for joining me. We will catch you next time. I'll be looking for my videos posted under the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. You'll hear me just sometimes talking about that I'm the Frugal Craftsman. I couldn't use that because it was already used on YouTube already, but the Tennessee is obviously the area I'm from, and so join with me, and if you like it, subscribe. If you like, you can hit the like button and whatnot. Would certainly appreciate that. Until next time, have a great day, and maybe even later today I will show you kind of the area where I'm going to be clearing and show you the before and after pictures. But until then, we'll see you later.